Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Coach Malzahn and the fine Auburn team for playing better than we did today. And honest, they did it in all three areas. Their offense was better than our offense today. Their special teams was better than ours today, and their defense was better than ours today. They played a very good football game, and did some things against us that kept us from being more successful. With that said, I would like to say our defense, I felt, hung in there for as long as they could. They held the rope, and they gave us a chance to still be in the game at halftime and till midway through the third quarter. And, they fought. They were on the field way too long, but they continued to compete right to the very end. So although it wasn't good enough, I thought that area of our team at least hung in there against a fine Auburn offense and forced some turnovers, gave us some field position. Special teams, I think there were 3 or 4 plays that they made that hurt us during the game. Early on, they had a fake punt that gave them life inside our territory, and then they had a long punt return, also a couple other special teams plays. I think they had a long kickoff return, and just some things like that. Special teams that we've in the past usually broken even or won the special teams battle. We did not win that today. We had an extra point. We had a field goal blocked, which was a great effort by them. So there was a few things in the special teams area that was in their favor, just like pretty much everything else. Offensively, we never established any consistency or got anything going. Their defense, to be quite honest, defended us better than anybody's defended us in the last 2 years. They were able to get some pressure on us with a 4-man rush. They lined up and played some cover 2, and they played their corners up really tight. One of the keys to the game was both teams threw what we call the perimeter screen game, and when they threw it, they were able to get 4, 5, 8 yards. They scored a touchdown off of it, and our perimeter screen game, we did not execute very well. We didn't catch it as much as we needed to, and when we did, they got off blocks and tackled us for 0 gain. Obviously, another big key, I don't have the numbers. They were able to run the ball much better than we were today. And when you add all those things up, you come out with against a good Southeastern Conference team, you come out with a tough loss. But our kids have nothing to be ashamed of. They played hard. They prepared hard. They came here ready to play under some difficult circumstances with the transition and coaches and things like that. And we came out. We were excited to play. We were ready to play. We just didn't play as well as the other team.
Okay, thanks, Coach. We do have a couple floor mics out there. If you'll give us time to get one of the mics to you before you ask your question. We'll go ahead and start with questions for Memphis. By the way, Winton is not going to be joining us. Tammy informed me, so we'll go with Coach and these guys.
Okay.
All right. Questions?
Paxton and Allen, what do you guys attribute the struggles to on offense today? We heard Coach Dickey talk about it a little bit, but what did you guys think was the issue?
I think the biggest thing was just like Coach Dickey said, it was a lot on us, but at the end of the day, you got to give Auburn credit. Hats off to those guys coming out there and preparing and playing better than we did in all aspects of the game. Offense only scored 3 points today, so no matter how good your defense is playing, 3 points really isn't ever enough in today's day and age, especially with these kind of offenses. But, we just came out here and had a lot of penalties on ourselves, a lot of drop balls, and I think that when you do that, it's really tough. It's really tough to win.
We have one here on the left side, front row. Go ahead, Jeff.
What did you think of your own performance, Paxton? And I suspect this is too early, but is this your last game as a Memphis Tiger?
Well, my own performance today was I'm definitely disappointed in myself just because when I go out there, I'm trying to make every play possible, and I know I left a few throws out there today. But the guys played well around me. I just didn't put it in a good enough place for them to make plays on the ball. But that's going to happen when you have games like today against a good defense. But I'm not really worried about what I'm going to do after this right now. Today's for these seniors, and it's their day today, and also Auburn's day. Congratulations to them, and I don't want to take anything away from that. I'm gonna after this game, talk to my coaches and my family, and then I'll make a decision after that.
Other questions on the front row?
Alan, you've been here, man, 4 years. You were here when this program struggled, and you were here when it got to the pinnacle of what it was this year and last season. I guess talk about this whole process and how difficult it is to go out, your last college career in a game like this and the way it did.
Yeah, does this mic work? Yeah. But like you said, I've been here a long time. I've seen the good, the bad, and I've definitely seen the ugly. But Coach Dickey, Coach Fuente, all these guys, Coach Korn, Shebest, like all these offensive coaches and defensive coaches, they've had great game plans all 4 years since I've been here. We've all had to buy into the program, and I've seen it come from the bottom and to the top like in a season or two. And it's just been a great sight to see and see all these guys come together as brothers and just become a family. I mean, I go over to Paxton's house and we goof off and stuff like that, like we're like related. It's crazy, but it's just been a fun time. This game didn't turn out like I wanted it to, but congrats to Auburn and Coach Malzahn. They played a good ball game. We couldn't run it like we needed to, and they wasn't really doing a lot, and we just couldn't do nothing with them.
Other questions? Let's come back to we'll go to the left side, and then we'll come to the front row. Go ahead.
Paxton, how much of the pressure was an issue today? Because it didn't seem like you could get comfortable a lot of the times. And again, a lot of credit goes to Auburn, like Coach Dickey said.
Yeah, Auburn did a great job at obviously getting pressure back there. And they were only rushing 4 at some times, and then other times they just bring some guys off the edge. But, they were a lot more bigger and physical and more athletic than I had expected. But they came out there and they played great, and, we just couldn't hold up on offense. Our defense did a great job for most of that game, but like Coach Dickey said at the end, their offense just started clicking, and, we didn't really help our defense out that much.
I have another one here on the front row. And then, Taylor, you had one on the right. Okay, we'll come to you in a second. Go ahead, Jeff.
You look, Alan, like it's been an emotional, I suspect, to know this is your last game for Memphis. Are the emotions because it's over? Because this is the way it ended? Because what are your thoughts going, not knowing that it's done?
I mean, the biggest thing is just my brothers, man. Just knowing that I'm not going to put a Memphis helmet on anymore. That's the biggest thing, and it's just tough. Sorry, it's just tough.
Front row, right side.
Coach, a bit of an awkward question over here on the extreme side here. A bit of an awkward question, but there appeared to be an altercation between one of your players and a member of Auburn's equipment staff after the game. You stole a football. Have you been made aware of this? Have you addressed this?
Well, but as I was coming out, I was hearing of what bits and pieces of what happened, and they're in the dressing room right now trying to sort out. So we will certainly look into what went on, what happened, and get the facts squared away. And that's not us. And if in fact somebody on our team did something like that, then we'll certainly address it. But I don't have all the information with me at this time.
Staying on the front row, go ahead.
Paxton, you being the quarterback, how tough has it been for you specifically, man, with Coach Fuente leaving? I know how close you all were. He kind of molded you and helped you get to where you are now. How tough has this whole last month been for you emotionally and physically? Have you talked to him at all leading up to this game?
Yeah, me and Coach Fuente had a good relationship, not just only on the football field, but off the football field as well, just because of how much we had been through together, him being head coach and me being the quarterback. But I know Coach Dickey, he recruited me, so I was really close to Dickey as well. And I had stayed in touch with Coach Fu. He had texted me probably once every week, just asking how I was doing, asking about Auburn. But, it was tough for him leaving, obviously, just because, your head coach, you've been around for so much. We were so close, and he left. But, I mean, he did what he needed to do, and there's nothing I can say about that. But, he helped me every step of the way.
Other questions from Memphis? Left side.
Coach, you and both players, because you all have been here and you've talked a lot about it leading up to this game of where this program was when you guys got here. I know, Alan, you talk about it a lot. Can the three of you just talk about where this program is now, regardless of what happened out there today? Memphis is not where it used to be. So if you guys can all just kind of talk on that.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. All right. Yeah, I think it's definitely not at the peak. I mean, that's for sure. There's plenty more progress to be made, plenty more steps to be built, and we got good guys coming in. I know they got the new coach signed a new quarterback from JUCO, I believe, and it's going to be good competition there. So it's definitely not at its peak. There's plenty more progress to be made.
I think that there's hope at Memphis right now. We came in and there had been some poor seasons. There hadn't been a lot of sustained success. I know Tommy West came in and had a nice run, but the program's been kind of up and down, and we're hoping the foundation that's been laid here by this group of seniors and this group of kids is one where we can be in a 10-10 ball game with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter against a national power year in and year out and come in after the game and be disappointed. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. When we first got here, I mean, we were kind of a disaster. I mean, we were trying to just put enough guys on the field to field a team. And we started from as far as near the bottom as you probably could. And to see the things we've accomplished the first 2 years, you didn't see the results on the field, but we saw them in the classroom, in the off season, even during some games where we were close but couldn't finish. Then midway through last season, I think this team gained a lot of confidence. Right after we lost to Houston, we won 7 straight, and we were probably playing, from what I've heard, as good a football as they've seen around Memphis in quite some time. And then this year to start the season 8-0 and to beat a great Ole Miss team at home, it just speaks volumes about how far we've come. The key now is to continue / take the next step, as Coach Mike Norvell is referring to. And and people say, well, what's the next step? Well, the next step is continue being in this at the national level, to keep knocking at the door. And, we lost 3 games down the stretch this year that knocked us out of contention for possibly one of the Big 6 games. And we need to get back there and get to that point and then finish the job. And so, we've laid a foundation here that's based on work ethic, talented players. We have a number of walk-ons which contributed. This one right here to the left of me may be the best one I've ever been associated with. Although if you'd asked me a year ago, I'd have probably said Brandon Hayes was the best one I've ever been associated with. So we've had a number of them. But I do think, recruits are out there looking at Memphis going, hey, this is a place I can go play, be on TV, play against the big boys of college football, supposedly, and have a chance to be successful.
We have time for one more question from Memphis. Let's take it over here on the right.
To Paxton and Allen, after starting the year 8-0 and then dropping 4 of the last 5 here to end it, is there any sense of disappointment, despite the fact that you guys are also wrapping up the best 2-year run in this program's history? And when do you really allow yourself to appreciate what you guys have done this year in the last 2 years?
Of course, it was a disappointment just because we started out so hot, and before the season even started, we all just knew that we had a chance to do something special here this year, and that was win every ball game. And we were hot there for a minute, and then once we lost, we just kind of lost a few in a row. But it was important for us to step back and make sure that we finished the season good when we beat SMU, and then we kind of came out here and did this. But I wish we could have won for the seniors and these guys like Allen, because not every program you go to, you see walk-ons playing a big of a role as Alan Cross does, or Mose Frazier, or Phil Mayhew, any of those guys. So, we're disappointed, but at the same time, we did something that hasn't been done here in a very long time, and that's something to be proud of by all of us.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with what Pac said. We're definitely disappointed in the way that everything ended. Like he said, we're on the 8-game win streak, and I believe it was 15 from including last year as well. But we dropped those 3, and then we kind of got our little fire back at SMU, and then we came out here and just didn't play good at all. That's the biggest disappointment. It's not just finishing like Coach Norvell was telling me, I talked to him a little bit. He was telling me to finish, help the team finish. That's what we need going into spring, to help these young guys just keep going and keep plugging along for the next season. But that's the biggest disappointment, is just not finishing.